This is the HSS Interactive Network. Welcome to this edition of Improvement in Action. I'm your host, Phil Nielsen. In this edition, we will conduct a quick overview of 5 techniques that can and should be practiced by leaders and frontline employees every day. The techniques are often called the 5 S's because each of the technique names start with the letter S. The 5 S's are unique to lean thinking. The 5 S's stem from understanding defects, waste, and even accidents occur more often in a disorganized work environment. You have probably noticed how lean thinking is an organized approach to improving processes and procedures. You may also have caught the idea that lean thinking depends on each of us improving things a little bit all the time. The 5 S's help organize the work environment so waste is more easily identified and eliminated. So what are the 5 S's? Here they are in order: sort, set, shine, standardize, and sustain. It may take a few tries, but you can memorize these words. Once you have them, they can make your workload easier to manage and they can save you time. Let's use an everyday example of how the 5 S's work. I'm not a whiz in the kitchen. Lynn, my wife, is. However, when I learn how she has the kitchen organized, it is much easier for me to help prepare a holiday meal. Are you ready to join me in the 5 S's kitchen? The first S is sort. Sorting involves removing the unneeded and keeping only those things we do need. For example, next to the refrigerator, we have a junk drawer. Anything we don't know if we will need later, or we don't know where to store, goes in that drawer. The problem is, the drawer is a mess, and when we search for something, we never can find it because it's hiding among the other junk in the drawer. The solution to this issue is to trash stuff we don't need and store everything else in a designated place. The process of removing the unneeded from the needed is sorting. Which leads us to the second S, set. Everything should be set in a designated place. The place must meet 3 criteria. First, the item must be easy to find. Second, it must be easy to reach when needed. Third, the item must be put in its place when not in use. We have a half-dozen long-bladed knives in our kitchen, several bread knives, 2 different-sized carving knives, a fishbone knife, and a meat cleaver. We have not found a single rack for them all. So, they used to lie on the counter between the toaster and the Kleenex box. I cut my fingers several times before we took the plunge and sorted the junk drawer and set those knives in the old junk drawer or the new knife drawer. Benjamin Franklin expressed it best when he said, "A place for everything and everything in its place." That's setting. The third S is shine. Lynn and I are in opposition on this one. I like to put the used measuring cup in the sink immediately after I empty it. Lynn likes to set it down on the counter in case she needs it later. Shine does not require her or me to change our habits in the kitchen. But at work, where we may share workspace with others, shine is important. Shine means to sweep or wipe, stack, file, paperclip. You get the idea. Keeping things in order, rather than scattered about, is an easy way to make your work area tidy, but also lower the frustration of your coworkers when they're looking for the shared stapler, for example. Shine also reduces the number of items that get lost or accidentally misfiled or destroyed. Standardize is the 4th S. Standardize has 2 applications. Standardize means to make shine a habit. Consistently shining your area will not be a chore once it becomes a habit. Good habits are wonderful. They free you to concentrate on new or complicated issues rather than having to think about every detail. It took me a while, but I finally formed the habit of using the shortcut to setting the oven to 350 degrees. Before I formed the habit, it took me 5 steps and lots of concentration to set the oven. Now I can do it with 2 clicks. Standardize also means everyone does things the same way. My wife Lynn depends on recipes being standardized. By that I mean the dry ingredient list appears first on the recipe card. Next on the card are the wet ingredients. The mixing and special instructions follow the wet ingredients. The final instructions include temperature, cooking time, and any serving ideas. With every card organized in this manner, she can proceed quickly and confidently. I can also more easily anticipate her next step and be prepared to help most effectively. Standardize works the same way in a business setting. Keeping work areas shined and organized similarly for other team members makes things go more smoothly. The fifth and final S is sustain. Sustain means making a commitment to the 5S method. You always use it all the time. Sustain goes back to the knives on our counter and the overflowing junk drawer problem we started with. Spending a few minutes sorting the junk from the good stuff, storing everything in its proper place, and forming standard habits like standardizing the recipe cards has made my holiday cooking experience less stressful and more enjoyable. Many lean thinking companies add a sixth S, representing safety. Businesses have known for a long time that a neat and clean work environment is a safer work environment. Evidence suggests that dirt, clutter, and a haphazard storage system makes cuts and falls, pulled muscles, and other injuries more likely to happen. It is also easier to see dangerous conditions when the area is neat and clean. The safety benefit from following the 5 S's fits right in with the emphasis HSS places on worker wellness. So practicing the 5 S's makes sense from a personal aspect as well as a company efficiency standpoint. Before we go, please take a moment and share your experiences with me. If you are an HSS leader, click on the Work Area Management Overview line in the Team Discussion section of the Performance Improvement landing page to post your comments. Or you can send me an email message at the address on the screen. Well, that's it for this edition of Improvement in Action. Thanks for joining me, and goodbye until next time.